On tonight's Wales at 6, energy bills on the rise again.
With the price cap increase today, I'll be exploring concerns about affording our household bills and tips and tricks on how to keep them down.
Plus, Lynn died waiting for an ambulance for 5 hours. Tonight, her husband tells of his frustration and the heartache of life without her.
Every day, it's a chore. There's not a day that goes by without me thinking about her.
Also on the programme, the big dogs needing a little help. Why rescue shelters are calling on people to adopt a larger breed.
And find out how we're celebrating all things apples here at ITV.
Hello, good evening to you. Energy bills will rise today as the new price cap comes into force, with charities warning that it will leave many cold this winter. The costs of gas and electricity for a typical household will rise by 2%. That equates to £35 a year. The increase comes as outstanding payments to energy companies reach record highs. Our Consumer Affairs reporter Kate Lewis has tonight's top story.
It's eyes down at this local lunch club. But for many pensioners here, the real gamble isn't on the numbers, it's on how they'll afford their rising energy bills. Will you think twice before putting your heating on?
Oh God, yes. You'd have to.
So what will you do to keep warm?
Well, I've got a hot water bottle I can cut into when I'm sat watching television. And throws, different throws. And you can hardly see me when I go to bed under my eye.
Patty isn't alone. As the numbers go up on the bingo cards, so too have household energy bills, with today's price cap rise adding yet more pressure to already stretched budgets. What impact does this have on your pension?
Well, it means it takes a quarter of it straight away.
Just like chasing a full house, energy companies say they are chasing outstanding costs. Add to this soaring network charges and government levies, and that's why we're all paying more. The average household will now pay around £1,750 a year for their gas and electricity. But there is some help on the table, from the warm home discount to winter fuel payments and supplier support funds. But for many, it can feel like a lottery whether they can get the support they need. This community centre in Cardiff is doing all it can to help people with their bills.
Something falls on the mat they don't want to open. A lot of people actually bring their closed envelopes here because they can't be opening them on their own and worrying about them. So luckily we can signpost to various agencies for that purpose. But it's awful to see.
And it seems the problem is greater here in Wales than elsewhere.
We have some of the oldest, leakiest homes, not just in the UK, but across all of Northern Europe, homes which fundamentally just cost more to run in the first place. And we need to find a way to build fuel poverty out of people's homes to make them much warmer, healthier, greener places to live.
The Welsh Government says it's using every tool available to help households cope with their energy bills. And this year they are investing more than £30 million in a new Warm Homes Nest scheme to help low-income families.
48.
Like every household, all these players want to see rising are the numbers on their bingo cards, not on their energy bills.
So as that price cap rise comes into force, many will be wondering how to try and ease the added financial burden. Kate is live for us to try and help us with this. So Kate, good evening to you. What can be done then?
Well, Andrea, I think there is a real sense of helplessness, bills continuing to go up. But there are things we can do. We're in a beautiful show home here, so not a leaky old home, but even in homes like this, there are things. And I'm joined by an energy expert. Gareth, thank you very much. What would be, first of all, your top tip?
Probably the easiest and fastest thing that you could do would be to get on a better tariff. If you could use a price comparison site like Go Compare, you can search for a better deal Moving to a cheaper tariff can save you around about £180, which is about 10% of a modern energy bill.
Which is a big saving. But let's talk about what we can do practically.
Yeah.
We all love a cuppa. What can we do with this?
So don't overfill it. Make sure that you're only boiling the water that you're going to use. And if you do that, you'll probably save yourself about £10 a year just by doing something as simple as that.
And then it just shows in this kitchen, there's so many appliances. Straight underneath, we have a dishwasher. Tell us about this.
Dishwasher, only put them on when they're full. If you can use an economical cycle, something that is low temperature, then that will save you money as well. Probably about £30 a year.
So we've got £10 kettle,
yeah.
£30 there, £40 already just on 2 appliances. Straight ahead of us, we have the front door. Tell us about the front door.
So draft exclusion is a big category. If you can do things to make sure that your windows and doors are excluding any drafts, same with the letterbox, that'll probably save you about £85 a year.
£85 just on your front door?
Absolutely, and your windows.
And your windows, and that's in new builds or old builds, I guess?
Absolutely.
Right, there's a room through there, and I can think will be lots of things to talk about in this one. The living room, Gareth, when you walk in here, what do you think straight away?
So the first thing that strikes me is the television. When you're not watching it, make sure that you turn it off at the plug. Don't leave it on standby. If you turn things off standby, that'll save you about £45 a year. It's not just your television, it's things like games consoles, anything else that can be left in standby mode, turn them off at the plug.
We're already over £100 just from 3 appliances, essentially. And then the obvious thing in this room would be the lighting. Tell me a little bit about the lighting. What do we think here?
So if you've got the traditional bulbs, they will be using a high wattage, probably 50 watts and above. If you move to an LED equivalent, it'll probably be 5 watts or less.
So that is
a fraction of the amount of energy.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, we're not going to run up the stairs, but tell us about showering.
So if you switch from bathing to showering, that can save you a lot of money. A 4-minute shower will probably save you about £45 again per annum if you make that change.
We're talking a lot of savings here, aren't we? Overall, in a house, you do everything that you recommend. What are we looking at saving?
So if you switch your energy supplier and you make those simple changes don't feel like much, but probably £400 to £500 maybe.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there we go. As I say, everyone today probably feeling a little bit helpless, a little bit lost, not knowing what to do as these bills continue to rise. But just think, there are a few little tweaks and they should make a little bit of a difference.
Lots of good information and advice to put into practice. Everybody listening very carefully to all of that. Thank you. OK, next this evening, the family of a woman who died whilst waiting 5 hours for an ambulance have spoken out about the trauma they endured in her final moments. Andrew Johnson was left to perform CPR on his wife for nearly an hour after she suffered a pulmonary embolism. A coroner's report has found that the response time by paramedics did not meet the Welsh Government set targets. Joanne Gallagher reports.
Lynn Johnson lived in Wales for 20 years in this rural community near Aberdaron. She died 6 months ago in the arms of her family, who frantically performed CPR, having been forced to wait 5 hours for an ambulance.
She tapped me on the shoulder, and that was at bang on 12:30 at night. And I woke up and she said, Andy, something's wrong, something's happening. And I turned round and she stretched straight out, put her eyes on the top of her head and had some sort of, what I told the people on the 999 call, some sort of a seizure.
When you made that first call, that first 999 call, you were told it would be 7 hours to get an ambulance to Lynn. In the end, it was 5 hours.
Yes.
What goes through your mind when you're told several hours?
My stomach dropped. I couldn't believe it. I told them, I need an ambulance now.
The family feel their call should have been classed as the highest emergency from the very start, but it wasn't, and they were devastated to learn volunteer community first responders were allowed to finish their shift on time rather than travel to attend to Lynn.
We are talking about a life and death situation here. Obviously the the first responder may have not known of the severity of it because of the code being put down as an amber, which obviously to me is a definite failing of the ambulance service, putting it down as an amber.
The Welsh Ambulance Service has said that they were under severe pressure the evening Mrs Johnson fell ill, and they have apologised to the family. One of the delays that we're seeing at the moment is to do with patients not being taken out of the back of the ambulances and into hospitals quick enough. That's causing issues, and it means they're not back on the road helping people like Mrs Johnson.
What would be wrong with them having an on-call doctor located, especially in rural areas, one in Aberdaron, one in Butternog, you know, a few miles spread apart?
A review found the 999 calls were accurately graded, but the family aren't convinced as they try to keep going.
There's not a day that goes by without me thinking about her, you know.
It's been a long road, and those Lynn left behind hope no others go through the same.
Joanne Gallagher with that report there. Elsewhere this evening, 2 more cases of the blue tongue virus have been identified in Powys in 2 separate locations, putting the total number across Wales at 4. Today, the Deputy First Minister told the Senedd the 4 premises where there is blue tongue have been placed under restrictions as investigations continue, and compensation will be paid for animals that are culled. Spread by midges, blue tongue can be serious for livestock. The Welsh Government is urging those who keep cattle, sheep and goats to follow biosecurity measures. Now, every winter, nearly 1 million people here in Wales roll up their sleeves for the flu jab. For those with health conditions, that jab can make all the difference, reducing the risk of catching flu, and if you do get it, helping to stop it from becoming more serious. And as the colder months approach, Public Health Wales is urging more people to take up the jab when they get that invite. Our reporter Isa Farfor is live for us in Pencloud Pharmacy in Swansea this evening to tell us more about this campaign. Good evening to you, Isa.
Good evening, Andrea. Well, pharmacies like this one are just one of the places where people can get vaccinated against the flu, and those who have health conditions like asthma or diabetes are particularly vulnerable. This is why Public Health Wales is really encouraging them to take up the jab this winter. People aged 65 and over will also get invited, but it's not just about older adults, pregnant women, carers and even school children should have that extra layer of protection. Earlier, I caught up with Jasmine. She is a nurse and has seen firsthand how serious the flu can be.
My bones ached, I couldn't get up off the sofa, and it was life-changing for me as a mum. I literally couldn't do what I need to do day to day. So that's when I got excited about getting involved and started becoming a flu champion for an Iron Bevan and making sure that all of the staff in our department could have access to the vaccination.
Well, now I'm joined by pharmacist Jonathan Rees. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me start by asking, how does vaccination help protect vulnerable people in the community?
So the vaccination introduces an inactivated or innate version of the virus into your body, so that should you encounter the infection later on, you will hopefully not feel unwell and be able to recover much quicker.
What's the uptake been like?
So last year was a little bit down on previous years to that, where we didn't hit our 75% of the population target. So hopefully this year we will reach that, and so far things have been good today.
And what would you like to say to those people who may feel fine now but are at risk?
Well, it's vital to get vaccinated as early in the season as possible, just to alleviate winter pressures on the NHS and to stop the hospital admissions. So get vaccinated as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, Andrea, the message today is really clear. Get the jab if you get invited, because getting the vaccine isn't just about staying well yourself, it's also about protecting your loved ones.
Could make all the difference. Isa, thank you. Well, still to come on the programme for you this evening. Feeling the music, the remarkable story of this conductor who has reached the pinnacle of his profession.
And it's been a bit of a two-way split across Wales today. Some of us seeing lots of cloud to the north and west, plenty of sunshine to the south and east. Is it going to last? I'll tell you all about the weather later on in the programme.
James with you shortly. First though, large-scale cruelty and neglect cases have seen a record number of dogs and cats in animal shelters across Wales. The RSPCA says it's facing an unprecedented crisis, with fewer people coming forward to adopt pets, especially bigger dogs, which are the least likely to be rehomed, as Liam McConkey can tell us.
Well, we're known as a nation of dog lovers, aren't we? And how couldn't you love Cheek, the 2-year-old Cane Corso here? He is one of many big dogs that aren't being homed at the moment because organisations like the RSPCA are finding it more difficult to house big dogs. And to tell us more about this is Jill Hillen from the organisation. Why is it difficult to house big dogs at the moment?
At the RSPCA and across the animal welfare sector, we're seeing so many more animals come into our care. We've had record dogs come into our care over the summer. So we're looking at the breeds that we have in our care, and we have found that larger breeds take 7 times longer to rehome than our smaller breeds, so we're seeing them in our centres for far too long.
Is there a certain person that you're looking for that can, rehome a big dog like this?
So there's lots of misconceptions when it comes to bigger breeds, and people may worry that they may not be able to take on a larger breed, but that isn't necessarily the case. It's all to do with the individual dog. So please look at our website, Find a Pet, this October, and see the animals that we do have up for rehoming. And it really matters on the individual and about that individual dog. So it might mean that you are the right person for that dog. So just take a look, have a chat with us and see if you're the perfect person for them.
Absolutely. Well, Jill, thank you very much for joining us. Well, the hope is here that more people will look to take on a big dog. This centre here, Llisnini, does provide excellent care to the dogs, but those who work here are hoping that dogs like Cheeks will be able to find a new home.
Let's hope so. Thanks very much to Liam. Plenty of gorgeous dogs there needing a new home. Now, to a conductor from Wrexham who perfected his love of music before he could really hear it. 37-year-old Robert Guy spent the first few years of his life being predominantly deaf, but thanks to his nana, took up the piano anyway. Now he's been invited to conduct at a prestigious orchestra in Hong Kong. Jennifer Buck has been to meet him.
Robert Guy has always managed to hit the right notes, even when he couldn't really hear them. His nana started teaching him the piano at a young age and was the first to pick up on his hearing loss.
Well, music was just always in my family from a young age. So my granddad was a fitter at a mine in North Wales in Llai, and he sang in his male voice choir. And music was just part of society. And my nana accompanied on piano my granddad on violin, because my granddad was an amateur violinist and sang in a choir, and my nana played the piano.
So how hard was it for you to learn the piano or any musical instrument when you were struggling with your hearing?
It's easier than you think. I had the piano there, so I was able to physically feel it. There was an element of kind of copying, because it was visual, and obviously you've got something percussive, so you can do that.
Robert studied music in Manchester and soon decided that conducting was his passion. He can now be seen conducting in the shadows at West End shows, with the Liverpool Philharmonic, also at Manchester University, where he now teaches the musical talent of the future.
The reason I came to this uni was because of this choral conducting programme that was set up by Rob.
He's really inspiring, especially because of everything that he's come over.
The way that he conducts us, he runs our rehearsals, is amazing.
Next month, Robert's taking the universal language of music from the Northwest to Asia, speaking at the Chinese University of Hong Kong and conducting the prestigious City Chamber Orchestra of Hong Kong.
It's amazing to think that you'll go literally the other side of the world to a group of people that you've never met, and you'll start immediately within seconds, hopefully, there'll be connections through music, through gesture, through facial expressions, and I can't wait to go.
And what about the rest of us who fancy picking up the baton?
Key to being a good conductor, I think, musically, a sense of rhythm, a sense of pulse. Actually, the conducting, moving your arm bits is the easy bit. That's something that you can learn, you know, coordination. I think you want to have an instinctive sense of pulse and rhythm.
He makes it sound so easy. After a muffled start in music, Robert is now certainly hitting the high notes. Jennifer Buck, ITV News in Manchester.
Enjoying that music there. Still ahead on the ITV Evening News.
Coming up, a company linked to Tory peer Michelle Mone is ordered to pay back £122 million for supplying faulty PPE during COVID. The son of former boxing champion Ricky Hatton says the family is heartbroken over the loss. We speak to the stars of the new film, The Smashing Machine. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Charlotte with you shortly. Now, it might all feel like a distant memory with a storm in the weather forecast, but our warm and sunny summer has led to a bumper crop in Wales's orchards. Record-breaking numbers of apples have ripened across the country, including at the Ervig Garden near Wrexham, which is home to more than 200 different varieties, as Carol Green has been along to find out.
There's the most wonderful display of apples here. It's like the best harvest festival ever. And if you could just smell the scent that is filling this stable with apple smell right now. Andrew, you're the head gardener here. What a harvest.
It's absolutely amazing harvest this year. The weather's just been so ideal for all the fruit production. And here at Ervig, we've got over 200 varieties of trees, and we've actually collected 168 different varieties this year. It's just been amazing.
Wow, and what is it about Ervig and apples then? It goes back centuries.
Absolutely. The first gardens were like 1680s, and it's just historically Ervig's just carried on with this absolute passion for apples.
So is it that? Is it passion, or is there something about the climate and the soil here that's really suited?
I think it's a mixture of everything. That kind of absolute passion from the families over the years, and obviously the production. And this year in particular, it's been so warm, it's been ideal for apples.
A bumpy year. So do you have a favourite variety?
I do. I love a Lord Lambourne. They're such a good eater, and I say it's just a great snack every day. That I've been picking them all every day now.
So that's your favourite. It's quite a substantial apple, that
Absolutely.
one.
It keeps me full till lunchtime, that's for sure.
We're used to seeing Bramleys, maybe Pippin, Coxes. Those are familiar names to us. But there's just so much more out there, isn't there?
There's so many stories. There's the Abbey Rose that we've got here at Ervig, which the ladies used to match their blusher to. We always say at Ervig, every apple definitely has a story.
I'll have to give that a try. And when we look here, all sorts of sizes and colours, and the smell is just so potent.
It's absolutely just amazing. So we absolutely just love it here. And so there's great heritage with all the apples, and especially here in Wales, it's such an importance. Over the last 70 years, orchards have really decreased, and what we're really trying to do at Ervig is really make sure heritage apples are available for all.
So are we in danger of losing some of that apple heritage?
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to do with the National Trust, and especially here us at Ervig. You know, this weekend we have the apple harvest, and people can actually come and explore the display and actually buy some different varieties which you wouldn't regularly be able to buy.
There's lots of fun on offer as well as education as well, isn't there?
Absolutely. There's activities for all ages here over the weekend. It's going to be great fun. We're really, really looking forward to it.
Well, I'll let you tidy up your display. You've got visitors to please. It's going to be apple-tastic here at Ervig for the next month.
Wonderful, apple-tastic. Now, a quick reminder of how you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter out every Saturday. Just scan the QR code on your screen now where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter where you can read more in-depth analysis and insight from our reporters into the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, search ITV Wales. And swiftly on to the weather with James.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Hello there, good evening. It's been reasonably settled over the last few days. Hasn't always meant sunny. The next few days, on the other hand, distinctly unsettled. That means bands of rain, some hefty showers, some strong winds in the mix, and cooler as we head into next week. The high pressure that's kept things settled is starting to break down, so we're going to start to see one bundle of wet weather for tomorrow evening and overnight. That will clear to allow for Storm Amy, the first named storm of the 25-26 autumn-winter season. Some heavy rain on this, but also look at the tightness of the isobars. As Amy passes, it's going to get very windy, so yellow warning in force for North Wales for Friday. As far as the evening and overnight goes, we're going to see a mixed bag of cloud clear spells. One or two sheltered spots may pick up one or two mist patches. The breeze starting to pick up once again across the western side of the country. That though means it's going to be mild everywhere, lows in double figures pretty much across the board. Tomorrow then, like I say, changeover day, some bright spells but increasing amounts of cloud from the west. We start to see one or two outbreaks of rain by the middle to end of the afternoon, and then temperature wise, well, actually still pretty mild. It might not feel it as that wind starts to really pick up, looking at highs of 18 or 19 Celsius. Thursday into Friday, well, like I say, that band of rain pushing through fairly steadily. We should see a reasonable amount of wet weather from that. Then the latter part of Friday sees Amy's main rain band pushing through. After that, some strong winds, hence that yellow warning for northern parts of the country. Bye for now.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
All change. Thanks, James. That's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Megan's back with your late update after the news at 10. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.